Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. The most incredible World War II relic ever. Wolf in the Woods. Love Mark Felton's videos. My name's Connor, the original link. Top description, Discord below that. Love to have you. Let's go.
In 1989, the deep forests outside the city of Leningrad in the Soviet Union hid a relic of the Great Patriotic War, somehow overlooked and forgotten since 1943. Some hunters moving through a silver birch forest far from civilization stumbled upon a wolf. Not the wolf of fairy tales, but a wolf of metal, a Focke-Wulf 190, known by its infamous nickname of the butcher bird. It was the World War II relic find that I don't think has ever been surpassed since. Sitting amid a forest of young birch trees was an almost complete World War II German fighter, its paint still largely intact, the national markings bright on its fuselage and wings, a black swastika adorning its tail. So good was the aircraft's preservation that it looked as though it had crashed only days or weeks before, instead of 46 years before. When more qualified experts arrived at the scene, the plane was properly identified. A Focke-Wulf 190A5, belonging to the 4th Staffel of Jagdgeschwader 54. Even more incredibly, inside the cockpit, the pilot's leather flying helmet had been tossed along with his headset. The aircraft was in an extraordinary state of natural preservation. Its only damage from the wheels up, barely landing, being crushed wing leading edges and a cracked spar. No one had ever visited the plane since the pilot, Feldwebel or Sergeant Paul Retz, had staggered away from the crash site after first taking the first aid kit out of its compartment. The crash happened only about a dozen miles from the German front line, but Retz, who was an experienced pilot, had only joined this squadron on the 9th of July 1943, 10 days before his crash. He was picked up by a Soviet patrol and held as a prisoner in the Soviet Union until 1949. He actually passed away just before his aircraft was found in the Russian forest. Obviously, the weather
that would have been crazy if you could go back and see it.
Russian forest. Obviously, the weather and animals had taken some toll on the plane, which rested in a boggy area. But due to the low temperatures in the region in the autumn and winter and heavy snowfall, it was quite well preserved. Also, the forest had grown up around the plane in the subsequent 4 decades that it had sat there, hiding it from view, until literally stumbled upon quite by chance. Around 1991, when the Soviet Union broke up, the FW-190 was removed from the forest, largely by heavy-lift helicopter, for preservation. So why had Feldwebel Retz bellied in on the 19th of July 1943? He had taken off with other JG-54 aircraft on a mission to attack a Soviet armored train. Retz was an experienced pilot. He had previously been a ground mechanic before training as a pilot, and was also a ground attack specialist. And the Luftwaffe records suggested that his 190 was hit by Soviet flak, causing the crash. But an examination of the plane revealed no flak damage whatsoever. But in the engine, which was a brand new replacement, an oily rag had been inserted into a critical section, meaning that the engine had been deliberately sabotaged during manufacture by blocking an oil line. BMW used forced laborers from German-occupied countries on many parts of the production line. Produced forced laborers from German-occupied countries on many parts of the production line, producing the engines, and someone had taken the opportunity to do their bit to attack the Nazis. The result had been a catastrophic failure of Retz's engine and a forced landing in the nearest piece of open ground that he could find.
Yeah, I'd heard that before, that some prisoners of war working in factories would deliberately sabotage equipment.
The recovered aircraft was eventually bought by Paul Allen, the Microsoft billionaire, and fully restored to flying condition over a period of 20 years, with most of the work being done by specialists in the UK. Today, it is considered to be the most completely authentic Focke-Wulf 190 that is currently airworthy, and is based at the Flying Heritage Collection in Seattle in the United States. So, the next time you're walking in the forest, keep your eyes peeled. You never know what beasts may be lurking behind the trees.
No, because nothing happens in the U.S. or nothing has happened over here, really. You guys have thousands of years of... Obviously, they were Native Americans, but they you know, the industry... You can find some You can find some arrowheads, and maybe if you're... I don't know, but nothing like this, where you guys have... The fact that you can find a medieval... I know that it'd be unlikely, but you could find layers of history, medieval historical artifacts a little bit below, you know, Napoleonic Wars, which are maybe a little bit below World War I stuff. Just how much stuff has happened over there and warfare in the past 1,000 years that just... Yeah. Just is I'm jealous that you have the possibility of, if you live in, you know, mainland Europe, maybe UK too, a fallen Luftwaffe plane that was maybe attacking the UK, you could stumble upon that. Not a chance over here. Hope you guys are doing well. Great video from Mark Felton as always. It is a bit late. It's almost 10 p.m. I don't usually record this late. I'll see you guys next time, all right? Bye, guys.